Research-based knowledge should be used for socio-economic development of the country, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina while inaugurating National Science and Technology Complex. Corona's new variant is spreading fast. Prime Minister urges all to follow health guidelines and get vaccinated soon.
নতুন একটা ভেরিয়েন্ট দেখা দিয়েছে, এই ভ্যারিয়েন্টটা দ্রুত ছড়াচ্ছে এবং একটা পরিবার সহ কিন্তু আক্রান্ত হচ্ছে। এখানে আমি সবাইকে বলবো যে স্বাস্থ্য সুরক্ষা মেনে চলা, আর যারা টিকা নেননি দ্রুত তারা টিকা নিয়ে নেবেন।
Country sees 12 deaths from coronavirus in a single day after 3 months. Infection rate rises to more than 12%. 3,359 fresh cases traced in 24 hours. 11-point restriction imposed from today to prevent spread of corona. Government agencies working to implement restrictions. Government can cancel passports of those involved in anti-state activities abroad, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. India reports 2.5 lakh of corona infection in a single day. Omicron dangerous for unvaccinated people, says World Health Organization. And in a Spanish Super Cup, Real Madrid reached the final, beating Barcelona by 3-2 goals. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. I'm Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui. You just heard the headlines. Let's move on to the details of those and other stories.
আমি বাঙালি, আমি মানুষ, আমি মুসলমান, একবার মরে দুইবার মরে না। আমার মৃত্যু আছে থাকে যদি আমি হাসতে হাতে যাব, আমার বাঙালি জাতকে অপমান করে যাব না, তোমাদের কাছে ক্ষমা চাইব না এবং যাবার সময় বলে যাব জয় বাংলা, স্বাধীন বাংলা, বাঙালি আমার জাতি, বাংলা আমার ভাষা, বাংলার মাটি আমার স্থান।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina laid emphasis on leveraging the research-based knowledge for the country's socio-economic development, calling upon the researchers to put concentration on basic and practical researches alongside exploring unused resources. The Premier was addressing the inaugural ceremony of the National Science and Technology Complex in city's Agargaon as the chief guest, joining virtually from Ganabhavan this morning. Sheikh Hasina noted research is inevitable in every field such as health, food production, engineering or infrastructure development. In fact, excellence cannot be achieved without research, she said. In her speech, the Premier said the new variant of COVID-19 is now spreading rapidly and the people are being affected by the Omicron variant. She called upon all to follow the health safety protocols properly and maintain the recent directives issued by the government.
সব ক্ষেত্রেই কিন্তু আসলে গবেষণা প্রয়োজন। আসলে গবেষণা ছাড়া উৎকর্ষতা লাভ করা যায় না, আর সাস্টেইনেবল ডেভেলপমেন্ট গোল অর্জন করতে গেলে পরে আমাদের গবেষণা একান্তভাবে দরকার। আমাদের দেশীয় সম্পদ যা আছে, আমাদের অনেক অমূল্য সম্পদ রয়ে গেছে যা এখনো আমরা ব্যবহার করতে পারিনি বা ধরা ছাড়া পারি, সেগুলো আমাদের খুঁজে বের করতে হবে এবং তার উপরে গবেষণা করে সেগুলো যাতে আমাদের দেশের মানুষের কাজে লাগে সে বিষয়ে আমাদের বিশেষভাবে দৃষ্টি দিতে হবে। আর গবেষণার সাথে সাথে এই গবেষণা লব্ধ জ্ঞান আমাদের আর্থসামাজিক উন্নয়নে কিভাবে ব্যবহার করা যায় সেটার উপর আমরা জোর দিচ্ছি। মৌলিক গবেষণার পাশাপাশি প্রায়োগিক গবেষণার উপর জোর দিতে হবে। নতুন একটা ভেরিয়েন্ট দেখা দিয়েছে, এই ভ্যারিয়েন্টটা দ্রুত ছড়াচ্ছে এবং একটা পরিবার সহ কিন্তু আক্রান্ত হচ্ছে। এখানে আমি সবাইকে বলবো যে স্বাস্থ্য সুরক্ষা মেনে চলা এবং আমরা ইতিমধ্যে কিছু নির্দেশনা দিয়েছি, সেই নির্দেশনাগুলি সবাই মেনে চলবেন, আর যারা টিকা নেননি দ্রুত তারা টিকা নিয়ে নেবেন।
With Science and Technology Minister Architect Yafis Osman in the chair, National Museum of Science and Technology Director General Mohammad Munir Chaudhry delivered the welcome address. Bangladesh and Denmark have agreed to work together on climate change and infrastructural development issues for mutual benefits. Both the countries expressed their eagerness when Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen phoned Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina this afternoon, marking the golden jubilee of Bangladesh's independence and 50 years of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Press Secretary Saul Karim said, during the telephonic conversation, both the premiers greeted and congratulated each other, marking the two significant occasions in Bangladesh. They also expressed their keenness to work on the other issues of mutual interest, such as business, trade and commerce. Sheikh Hasina greeted the Danish premier on her election as the second female and the youngest prime minister in Denmark's history. Zakir Party, Bangladesh Kollan Party and Bangladesh Jatiya Party BJP attended the ongoing dialogue with President Mohammad Abdul Hamid on forming a neutral and acceptable election commission today. At first, a six-member delegation of Zakir Party led by its chairman, Mustafa Amir Faisal, took part in the discussion at Bongo Bhavan this evening. Later, Bangladesh Kollan Party held talks with President Abdul Hamid. Secretary General Abdul Awal Mamoon led the delegation. Then a delegation of Bangladesh Jatiya Party BJP, led by its chairman Barrister Andalif Rahman, took part in the discussion with the President. President's Press Secretary M. Jainal Abidin briefed that during the discussion, the three political parties proposed to enact a law to form an acceptable election commission. Besides, Zakir Party proposed to introduce modern technology, blockchain system and e-voting for fair and credible election. Bangladesh Kollan Party proposed to ensure cooperation of the executive for the Election Commission as well as accountability of the Election Commission and the government. Welcoming the delegations, President Abdul Hamid urged the political parties to come forward to ensure a healthy environment in politics by holding fair and credible elections. During the talks, BJP proposed to form an election commission as per the constitution and involve the army as auxiliary force in the election process. Secretaries to the President were present. Rise of corona infection continues in the country. Infection rate reached about 12.03%. Bangladesh reported 12 COVID-19 deaths and 3,359 new infections today. Directorate General of Health Services, DGHS, in its routine daily statement today said the death toll has risen to 28,123 from coronavirus and the total of infections has risen to 16,04,664. The recovery count rose to 15,51,955 after another 302 patients recovered. The statement said 12.03% of 27,920 samples tested positive. DGHS statistics showed of the people infected from the beginning, 96.72% recovered and 1.75% died. The government has emphasized on maintaining hygiene rules and imposed 11 points restrictions on people's movement to prevent the new variant of coronavirus, Omicron. Health experts say public awareness should be created to maintain health directives and government restrictions. Omicron has already spread as pandemic in the neighboring country, India. The government has imposed 11 points restrictions to stop spreading the virus. However, people in Dhaka do not fully maintain health directives, including wearing masks. In marketplaces of the capital, including Bosundhara City Shopping Mall, Jamuna Future Park and Aziz Supermarket, we're seeing the negligence of the people to maintain hygiene rules. The Directorate of Secondary and Higher Education has taken a massive program to vaccinate the school students aged between 12 to 18 years to save them from coronavirus. The students will be eligible for vaccination by registering their names in the safety apps with the birth certificates. The Education Department has set a plan to finish the countrywide vaccination program within the 15th January. 8 educational institutions have been symbolized as cluster in the capital city, where as many as 25 booths were opened to run the vaccination activities. Vaccines are being given to at least 40,000 children every day throughout the country. Health Directorate say 30 lakh children will be vaccinated in the first phase, for which 60 lakh doses of Pfizer vaccines are in their stock. Awami League will take part in the President's dialogue on formation of Election Commission on January 17 next. Awami League General Secretary Abdul Qadir said this in a statement today. He said Awami League will present party opinion and its proposal in the dialogue to form a strong election commission which will be capable to hold a meaningful and participatory election. Abdul Qadir expressed hope that mutual discussion can pave the way of solving any kind of complex problem. He said clash, violence and anti-people activities created barrier on the way of institutionalization of democracy. On the other hand, dialogue, discussion and the habit of honoring others' opinion make smooth the way of flourishing democracy. Awami League General Secretary said BNP is instigating terrorism and violence through speeches of hatred in different party rallies across the country. Abdul Qadir also said that the countrymen rejected those who are identified as patron of communalism and corruption and destroyer of the people's fundamental rights. Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said the government can revoke passports of those who are involved in anti-state activities staying abroad. He said this in response to queries from journalists on contemporary issues at the Secretariat today.
যারা বিদেশে বসে দেশের বিরুদ্ধে অপপ্রচার চালাচ্ছে, দেশ বিরোধী নানা ষড়যন্ত্র করছে, দেশে হানাহানি লাগানোর উদ্দেশ্যে নানা ধরনের অপপ্রচার চালায়, বিদেশিদের কাছে অপপ্রচার চালায়, সেগুলো তো রাষ্ট্রদ্রোহিতামূলক কার্যক্রম। সুতরাং কেউ যদি রাষ্ট্রদ্রোহিতামূলক কার্যক্রমের সাথে যুক্ত থাকে, রাষ্ট্র তার পাসপোর্ট বাতিল করতে পারে।
Replying to another query over human rights issue in the USA, the Information and Broadcasting Minister said Guantanamo Bay is a notorious prison of the United States, where prisoners were detained and tortured without any trial. Responding to another question, Dr. Hassan Mahmood said the threat to oust the government issued by those who went to High Court for bail by wearing burqa, which created fun for the countrymen.
যারা নিজেদের সমাবেশ করতে পারে না সঠিকভাবে, মারামারি করে এবং সমাবেশ করতে গিয়ে মঞ্চটা ভেঙে ফেলে, তারা যদি দেশ পরিচালনার দায়িত্ব পায় তাহলে দেশটাই ভেঙে ফেলবে। মির্জা আব্বাস সহ যে সমস্ত নেতারা বোরকা পরে হাইকোর্টে যায় জামিন নেওয়ার জন্য, পুরুষ হয়ে মহিলা বেশে হাইকোর্টে হাজির হয়, মির্জা আব্বাসও তাদের সাথে ছিলেন। তারা যখন এই কথা বলেন তখন মানুষ হাসে। জাতিসংঘের হিউম্যান রাইটস এক্সপার্টদের যে বিবৃতি, আহ্বান, সেটি চোখে আঙ্গুল দিয়ে দেখিয়ে দিচ্ছে যে যুক্তরাষ্ট্রে কিভাবে চরম মানবাধিকার লঙ্ঘিত হয়।
In the backdrop of global climate change reality, D8 countries have specified strategies to attain sustainable development goals in agriculture by 2030 through exchanging sustainable technology, innovation capacity and cooperation among the member countries. Agriculture Minister Dr. Abdul Razak informed that the strategy was adopted in the Dhaka Declaration following an agriculture ministerial level meeting of the D8 countries in Dhaka today. Agriculture ministers of D8 countries virtually joined the concluding session of the meeting. Dr. Abdul Razak said in the light of the 6 proposals adopted, coordinated agricultural production principles will be formulated that can play a vital role in making agricultural produce sustainable, withstanding the challenges of climate change. And now international news. The number of new coronavirus cases in India hit a record daily high, with over 247,000 infections being reported in a day, while the active cases surpassed the 14 lakh mark, according to the Union Health Ministry data updated today. With over 1 lakh infections per day for the 9th consecutive day, India has added 13,88,515 cases in the 9 days. Registering a steady increase for this 36th day in a row, the active cases have increased. The World Health Organization has said the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is dangerous, and especially for those who have not been vaccinated against the disease. The United States reported 8,14,000 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, and tally of infection rose to more than 6,43,44,000. France reported 3,62,000 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, and tally of infection rose to more than 1,29,35,000. The UK reported 1,29,000 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, and the tally of infection rose to more than 1,48,62,000. Meanwhile, COVID-19 global death toll surpasses 55,33,000, and over 31,79,84,000 people have been infected globally. Besides, more than 26,31,70,000 people have recovered from the virus so far. A tragic train accident has been occurred in Jalpaiguri district of the West Bengal, killing 6 passengers and dozens injured seriously. NDTV and Ananda Bazar sources said the ill-fated Bikaner-Guwahati Express train started from Patna bound for Guwahati met an accident while derailed from the rail line at around 5 p.m. this evening. 12 coaches of the train were damaged in the accident. Meanwhile, rescue operations have been started to find more distressed. About 700 passengers were on board at the time of starting journey. Cabinet ministers have pledged their support for Boris Johnson as he faces calls to resign after admitting attending a drinks party in lockdown. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister cancelled the visit to Lancashire after a family member tested positive for coronavirus. The Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross and other senior backbenchers have urged him to stand down. Top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell has denounced U.S. President Joe Biden's voting rights speech as incoherent and profoundly unprecedented. The remarks come one day after Mr. Biden delivered a fiery speech in Atlanta calling for an overhaul of the U.S. election system. The president said he supported changes that would allow his party's proposed overhaul of the election system to be passed without the support of opposition Republicans. Currently, a majority of 60% is needed to pass most legislation in the Senate. And now, sports news. Real Madrid reached into the final of Spanish Super Cup football tournament. In the first semi-final, the Los Blancos defeated arch-rival Barcelona by 3-2 at King Fahd International Stadium in Saudi Arabia. Vinicius Jr., Karim Benzema and Federico Valverde scored 1 goal each for Real Madrid. Luke de Jong and Ansu Fati scored 1 goal each for Barca. In the second semi-final, Atletico Madrid will face Athletic Club at 1 a.m. Bangladesh Standard Time tonight. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Research-based knowledge should be used for socio-economic development of the country, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina while inaugurating National Science and Technology Complex. Corona's new variant is spreading fast. Prime Minister urges all to follow health guidelines and get vaccinated soon. country sees 12 deaths from coronavirus in a single day after 3 months. The infection rate rises to more than 12%, 3,359 fresh cases traced in 24 hours. 11-point restriction imposed from today to prevent the spread of corona. Government agencies working to implement restrictions. Government can cancel passports of those involved in anti-state activities abroad, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. India reports 2.5 lakh of corona infection in a single day. Omicron dangerous for unvaccinated people, says World Health Organization. And in Spanish Super League, Real Madrid reached the final, beating Barcelona by 3-2 goals. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Viewers, please maintain corona protocol, use masks and stay safe. Khuda Hafiz.